Hey guys, so today we are doing my first speed build. Yay! Well, I mean, technically I've already done the speed build and you're watching it now, but hey ho. So anyway, I decided to renovate the Ophelia Villa. Yeah, that's what it's called. Because, if you didn't know, the Goths have been updated and they now look absolutely stunning. So I thought, new Goth family, new Goth house. I mean, it makes sense. So, first off, as you can see, I'm just going around deleting everything. I always like to start with a clean slate on all of my builds. It kind of just really allows my creative freedom to just grow and thrive without feeling I need to, keep to original features of the house. I can just go crazy and do whatever I want, if that makes sense. So as you can actually see now, I actually deliberated with the idea of adding a third floor. I still think it could have potentially worked, though with tall wall height, I actually wanted to keep tall wall height because I thought it would give the mansion a bit more stature, more grandiose. However, it just didn't really work on this property, so I decided to scrap it, as you'll be able to see in the end. But you know what, though? I absolutely love the Goth family, and that's another reason why I decided to do this specific renovation, because they're just iconic. I don't think there's been a townie in the Sims, in any Sims game, that's been better than the Goths. They just have so much mystery, so many stories, especially with Betel Goth's disappearance, which, isn't in The Sims 4, but, we can get over that. Or to be perfectly honest, can we? Can we though? Because, it's been what, 2014, almost 8 years, which is insane, since The Sims 4 came out, and we're still talking about Sims 2. Oh, Bella Goth, she should have disappeared, blah, 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 blah. I mean, Plumbella talks about it a lot, doesn't she? Ah, love her. Shout out to that queen. I mean, if Plumbella ever was to notice me, if she ever watched one of my videos, I think I would just drop on the kitchen floor and cry with tears of joy because she is my favourite Sims YouTuber. Anyway, I'll stop fangirling over Plumbella for a second. Okay, back to the build, back to the build. So, as you can see, around this point, I'm recolouring all the windows to black, and I honestly think it adds a lot more definition to the build. It's kind of like putting eyeliner on your eyes. It makes your eyes look more defined and ooh. I have absolutely no idea what I meant by ooh, but it definitely means something good. So, just take it as that. Also, one of my pet peeves about the base game house, before I renovated it, is that I always thought the windows were, like, weirdly placed, and also some of them just didn't make sense. Like, I always took an issue with the windows that went up the original stairs. I don't know if you can see it on here, if I'm even looking at it right now. I don't think I am, no. But they'd go up the stairs in like a weird position, and some of them you could see on one side of the house but not the other. I'm actually kind of really, really picky about symmetricality, so that was kind of important for me in this build, especially when it came to windows. So in a moment, you'll be seeing me going into the front garden. Now, you'll be able to see in a moment, I'm a very indecisive person in general, and you can definitely see that in my speed build here, because I just couldn't, for the life of me, decide what plants I wanted or what gate I wanted. It honestly must have taken me in real time, outside of the speed build, about half an hour to finish that entire area of the house, the back garden and the front garden, which isn't very good. But you know what? We got there eventually. And as long as you get there eventually in life, you should go for your goals. And I got there eventually with this front garden, and that is my message of the day. Sorry, I just got a good cup of tea here. Oh, I love tea. Just got a normal homebrew here right now at the moment. Though I really do love herbal teas. I've actually got a garden where I grow all sorts of little herbs. I've got mint, I've got lemon balm and oregano, and I just love to make just all different types of herbal teas. It's like a little hobby. I have one every night before bed. And honestly, I have been sleeping like a rock. It's actually been a problem. I've been late for school quite a few times now because I literally have been sleeping a rock because of this tea. But you know what? If there is anything that I need right now, it is sleep. Because, I swear to God, GCSEs have, at this point, have just been so stressful. Oh, I hate exams. Yeah. Like, GCSE drama, I've done that now, thank God. But oh my God, because you have to, because it's not just one like exam. Over the course of year 10 and 11, you have to do a bunch of performance exams, and then at the end, you have to do one massive written one. So it was all so stressful. But that's over now, so that's fine. But like the rest of them, I've got to revise so much. I've got to do maths, history, English, and just I hate it so much. And do you know what? The worst GCSE is science. I will argue with you about this all day. Like, I used to actually really like science, but in my school, the way it's taught, I just cannot stand it, love. Physics is an abomination against mankind, and it should not be taught to anyone. Okay, maybe that's a little bit dramatic, but that's just how much I just really don't like it. And you know what? Whenever I go into one of those lessons, I also feel like a slight pang of guilt because my physics teacher is actually so lovely. She's so nice. I just really wish she taught a different topic, like a different subject, so I could actually, be invested in the lessons and I would like listen to her because at the moment I'm not even listening in physics lessons because I genuinely cannot stand. I can't deal with it. But anyway, off GCSE stuff for a moment. I don't want to depress myself. I forgot, where are we at in the build? Oh right, yeah, okay. So as you can see, what I've been trying to tell you, I must have gone back and like deliberated between, having floor tiles in the garden or terrain paint. Must have been about 10 times, probably. I mean, again, I'm a very indecisive person at the best of times. But as you can see, I'm just going around with new patio lights because I actually really don't like hanging patio lights. I kind of think they look ugly and they don't do anything to really fill up the space, in my opinion. I don't know what you think, but those are just my thoughts on that issue, if you really cared, which you honestly shouldn't. I mean, I've only really just started, so I really don't think I am at the level where people start caring about my opinion, and I don't think I'll get there for quite a while. So, let's wait for that day. So I'm just going into the back garden now, and you'll be able to see that I couldn't really decide how I wanted to fill up the space at first, but then I realised, oh yeah, like, I could literally just line the entire edge with those nice rose bushes, and I'm actually a big fan of that bush. I think it's from Island Living, I think it's from that pack. I think it looks really pretty, and I think it's perfect for this kind of build because it's supposed to be quite gothic, and, all that, but I like to add, like, a pop of colour in my builds, and I think that adds that pop of colour that I'm looking for without betraying the aesthetic of the goth house, because, it's like blood red, gothic, ooh. Again, with the ooh, I don't know what that means, but just take it for what it is. Oh, and I also decided to add 2 bins, which a lot of people may think, why did you do that? But I did it for realism because nobody just has one bin. You've got to have all your different bins. Like, for those 2, I imagine it's like green waste and general waste. And honestly, that's like the bare minimum because usually you'll have your green waste, your general waste, your recycling, and all that stuff. So really, I should be adding more. Though I know that if this video does get any kind of traction, then people are like, oh, why add in 2 bins? It's not necessary. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so catching up to what you can see here, sorry, God, that was a hiccup, probably my tea. Yeah, anyway, so I decided to add a nice barbecue, a really deluxe one, because I thought they're an American family, and I know that Americans, they tend to have a lot of sunny weather, and they like their barbecues, and they're a rich family, so they're obviously going to have a really fancy barbecue patio area with counters and all that. So I thought that suited, and I can just imagine, like, Mortimer, just cooking up some burgers in the summer. And I can also imagine the rest of the family sitting there really happy. But Cassandra's really annoyed because her father is more traditional and refuses to buy vegan burgers for her. So she's just sitting there annoyed because she can't eat anything because I imagine Cassandra to be a vegan. I mean, I don't really know why, but I kind of think it kind of suits the rebel aesthetic that I think the Sims team were going for with her redesign. And, actually speaking of the redesigns, well, we haven't spoken of the redesigns yet. I really like the redesigns. I think that the original ones, they weren't terrible. However, they were definitely whitewashed. And I'm really glad that the Sims team decided to go and correct it and pay homage to the Hispanic roots that the Goth family started with. However, and there certainly is a however, one definite criticism that I can give to the redesigns is that I don't understand the reasoning behind changing that dress for Bella Goth. Now, I thought that that dress, when the Sims first came out, was actually tailor-made for her because it looked exactly the same as all the other dresses that Bella Goth has wore throughout every single game, Sims 1, Sims 2, Sims 3, and even like side games like the Sims 3 player and everything. However, I don't get the decision to change that dress because I just think it was perfect as it was. It shouldn't have been changed. I think that everything else to do with Bella Goth's character design, yeah, I'm fine with those changes, but that aspect, I'm just not sure. I honestly think they should have kept it the same. But you know what? I guess it's too late now. However, I know they are actually planning to redo the entire all of the Sims worlds in The Sims 4, which I'm very excited about. So maybe they'll correct that. But I don't know. Share with me your opinions in the comments on that because I don't know if I'm the only one. I might just be dumb and stupid, and that's just my opinion. But we can all have opinions, and that's what's so good about the human race is that we can all have opinions, and we shouldn't have that right taken away from us. I'm looking at you, Boris Johnson, you sneaky sausage, trying to put an authoritarian rule on our country under our noses. Well, not even really under our noses at this point. But you know what? Screw you. Sorry, I didn't mean to go so political there. But you know what? I just don't like Boris Johnson, and I think he is a massive... Again, I've already said piss off in this video, so I probably shouldn't say another swear word, because you never know. Demonetization, even though I don't monetize my videos yet, but I just don't want to get on YouTube's bad side already, so, I'm going to avoid it and stop being political and stop saying swear words. So, I hope you don't mind. So yeah, back to the speed build at hand, guys. As you can see, we've gone back into the interior of the house. I've already marked out the layout. Now, I decided that I would have a colour theme for each room. Now, not a new unique colour theme, mind you. I just thought, some rooms can be purple, like this, like with the corridor. I actually really like the purple aesthetic. But some rooms, like the living room, and also the Mortimer Goth and Bella Goth's bedroom, will be red. But some rooms, like the kitchen and the upstairs hallway, will be white. Moving into the living room, as I've just said, I decided to go with a red theme in here. I just think that the Goth family living room will always be red. I think it's their signature colour. And again, that's one thing that should never change, Sims team, like that dress, as I just said. Again, opinions. As you may start to notice as we go further and further into the interior of the build, I actually had a lot of trouble deciding on the carpets because I used them more than twice on multiple occasions. Don't kill me. I know that's some people's pet peeve. However, don't blame me, blame EA, because we have terrible swatches for rugs and it needs to be improved right now. Though I will say that I think the swatches on rugs and the actual rugs in general have been the best in the entire Sims games in The Sims 4. However, considering that, they weren't that great to begin with, that's not saying much. And also, I can apply the same logic to curtains, as I really struggled finding the right curtains for the dining room and hallway with the purple theme, because for some reason we really don't have any purple curtains, not ones that aren't any packs anyway. I mean, in all fairness, I did use a lot of packs in this build. I'm sorry if you do want to download it, there might be a few items missing, I apologise. However, yeah, there's not that many purple curtains, not ones that fit the size of windows that I needed anyway. But once more, having played the older Sims games, this is the best selection of curtains we have ever had in any Sims game. But again, that's not saying much. Well, sometimes at least. A lot of the time, especially in like modern builds now, if you want curtains, you usually can have curtains in any colour and size and shape that you want, and it's usually a-okay. But in this case, we just couldn't find them, and I think I'll give some credit and say that it's usually a rare occurrence. In a minute, we'll be moving on to the kitchen, and for the kitchen, I decided to go for a Victorian-style kitchen, but with a white theme, which I think worked quite well. I honestly don't think I made that great a use of the space. However, I do think it turned out decently. Um, as you'll be able to see in a second, I actually decided to do a informal dining area. I imagine this is where the Goth family, on just normal nights where they, eat dinner as a family, they'd just be sitting here enjoying it rather than in the formal dining hallway. As you will have saw just then, I actually toyed with the idea of adding a downstairs bathroom. Well, re-adding the downstairs bathroom as there originally was in this build. However, I decided against it because it would have meant I would have had to move the archway that led into the kitchen, and doing that would have made the door to the living room and kitchen weirdly separated apart and not very even. And as I said, I care a lot about symmetricality in builds, and it would have bothered me the entire time had I added a downstairs bathroom and moved that arch. But anyway, as I am an absolute lover of a good island counter, I decided to add one in this build. I always love having a little stove slash oven on an island counter. I just think it makes the space much more used and make it much more appealing and more modern. Yet I really think in this build it works because even though we weren't going for modern, I think it just adds a little bit of a touch to say that, oh, the Goth family have moved into a new era, which does happen to be true in this respect, as they have had a makeover, as I said. Two things I did forget to add in this part of the build, which I tend to always add in my builds, and I don't know why I forgot them here, was a microwave and a coffee machine. However, I like to imagine that the Goth family, well, they're a family of refined tastes, so they don't usually use microwave meals. I can imagine them, they have personal chefs, and I imagine like Bella and Mortimer both being quite good cooks, so they always like to cook nice gourmet foods for the family on nice meal like dinner nights and parties. I really can just see Bella just, hosting a dinner party and just coming out with all this delicious food, and the guests at the table just eating it all and just like, oh my god, who's made this? This is delicious. And it's just like, oh, it was me, I made them. And everybody at the table's just like, wow, you made them? It's just like, yes, I did. Now, moving on to upstairs, this is actually where I came into quite a large roadblock. So as you can see, I actually really struggled with the layout because I wanted to keep the tower that, what's his name? Yeah, Alexander Goth has his bedroom in, but I didn't really know how to incorporate that into the layout and have, it still make sense and not look weird, which is what I was trying to make Ophelia Villa not look like in the first place, because it did look a little bit weird. However, I did come to a sort of solution. I put a ladder outside on the balcony, which he has to climb up and then go into a door into his room, which I'm still not 100% happy with, but, you've kind of just got to settle for something, and I think it turned out okay anyway. Yes, but I actually did spend an exponentially long time trying to figure out this layout, and it might slow down the pacing of the speed build quite a little bit. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. I certainly hope it doesn't get you to click off. Sorry, that sounded very nervous. So please don't click off. Well, but really, please don't click off. I would like you to watch this because I have spent quite a few hours on this. But anyway, not trying to guilt trip you, but it's true. I have spent quite a few hours on this. Though I really think if I actually did things in a structured way, as you can see, I don't. I just tend to do things as they go along. And I know a lot of Sims YouTubers like Plumbella, Little Simsy, they do things in a very structured and orderly way. They'll do one thing first and they'll do the next thing and they'll do the next thing. I just kind of really just go for it. Because they'll tend to do the layout and stuff first before they do the windows. I didn't do that. I did like the opposite, though I think it turned out okay. It just took me quite a long time. But anyway, as you can see, I finally did figure out the layout with the workaround with Alexander's bedroom. So as you can see, I'm going into the bathroom, the master bathroom, and as you can see, I decided to continue with the white Victorian theme into the master bathroom. Now, I think this room I made a little bit too big for a bathroom. However, I think it turned out okay. And unpopular opinion. Actually, I don't even know, is it unpopular? But I actually really like a lot of the build stuff and buy stuff that comes with the Vampires pack, which is why this light was the light that I used. The chandelier with the candles on it was the light that I used for all the rooms, because I thought that it suits the gothic vibe. I honestly think anything with candles really complements this kind of stuff, which is why I use the candelabra, which they actually also used in the original version of this build. I thought the paintings from the paranormal stuff, which I actually used there, as you can see, I thought they really filled up the space because I was struggling with things to find that would look decent there. I also had some wall sconces, and actually moving on to Cassandra's bedroom. My idea for her, which you'll be able to see presented in front of you in a second, I see her, especially with this new redo, as this rebel teen, which as I said, she's vegan, she's a rebel, she's has a bunch of posts in her room. She does have more modern furniture, kind of showing that she's like the foil, using English techniques here, to her parents. I see them as quite not traditional in the conservative sense, but very traditionally styled. And Cassandra, she just simply isn't about that. So, as you can see, she has a bright pink bed, which is a lot more modern than her parents. I'm going to put in a wardrobe again, which is a lot more modern. And there's actually only one lamp that I used throughout the build besides this room. I did that on purpose to kind of show that rebel theme. She uses modern lamps. But in the bathroom, I decided to just, make it a red room, since I think we were kind of missing out on the red that the Goths are really all about. I gave her a mirror with lights in it because underneath all that gothic, emo, rebellion, she actually is an aspiring actress. And I know that might sound odd because that's never really been part of her character, but I think it would be an interesting kind of story twist to take, as I think she is very smart, but there's never really been a career that she has been applied to in any of the Sims games. So I think that it would be really cool and really, oh right, if we saw her become this really famous actress, because it'd see her come out of her shell, because she's obviously seen as this very shy character. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, as a little bit of representation as well, because I think Cassandra does give me very bi vibes, I added the bisexual, what's that? The bisexual flag in her room. But moving on to the main master bedroom, which always belongs to what's their names, Mortimer and Bella. How dare I forget their names for even 1 second. Yeah, I mean, this one was pretty straightforward. I just decided to red, fireplace painting, bookshelves. I like to imagine Mortimer and Bella do like to read a lot in their spare time. I didn't add any TVs into the house because I didn't really see them as the TV watching kind of people. I think they'd much prefer to read a good book than watch anything on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Yeah, but on that note, we're actually coming up to the end of the build, so I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm just going to let the rest of it play out now. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you so wish, and if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below, anything. And yeah, see ya!